All right, you've had a chance to look at sales and collections processes for a number of sample, example, comprehensive case companies, companies in various problems you've looked at. So by now, you've probably recognized that there are variations in sales and collections processes from industry to industry and even from company to company within industries. But you're probably starting to recognize there are some commonalities in the sales and collections process. So, with that in mind, it's a good idea to start putting together in your head a generic go to model that's suitable for coming in as a starting point for sales and collections as you go visit clients or as you start to investigate these processes for your companies. So let's just put together a basic generic sales and collections REA class model. So this is the UML class model or class diagram that we're going to create. That is a pretty good template to use as a starting point for any sales and collection process. So since it's REA, we'll have resources in one area, the events in one area, the agents in another area. And the two key resources we'd be dealing with are the inventory that we're selling and the cash accounts. And keep in mind that inventory may be the services we offer, the inventory of services we offer if we're a service-based organization. But we're having some kind of a resource that we're selling. So the events are generally going to be the sales activities and the cash receipts. And then finally, the generic agents that will take part in just about all of the events. We've got our employees, whether that be a salesperson or a cashier, and we've got our customers who are actually buying and paying us for our product. We've got all kinds of variations that we can put on this. You know, the type image classes that we can put together. Inventory is frequently one that will have type images. What product lines do we carry? What colors? If we deal in fabrics or car color paints, things like that. What kind of colors do we have available? All kinds of categorizations there. And then we may also have classifications for different types of cash accounts, bank accounts. Is it checking? Is it savings? Is it a CD? For the sales, we've got the sales status that we've seen before that might be a type image that we can add to sales. And so on down the line. Employees, we may have different departments that they work in, different classifications, different functions that they operate in. And we may do the same thing for customers. We may have different regions that customers are assigned to, different classifications, whether they're an enterprise level customer or a small business type customer. So we may have different sales staff that we employ to those different types of customers. So we've got all kinds of type images that we can add to these, but this is a good basic start. We're going to have inventory or some product or service that we're selling. We've got the cash accounts we're going to be collecting money and depositing money into, the sales and cash receipt events, and again, in some types of industries or some types of organizations like a convenience store, which typically don't sell on credit, well, that sale and cash receipt may take place simultaneously, so there's no point in really having them listed as two separate events. The events always take place at the same time, so we just put them down as one event, the sale. All right, so with this, each sale is going to be associated with an inventory item or more, an employee, and customers. Likewise, each cash receipt will be associated with an employee and with a customer, and the cash receipts will be deposited into a cash account, and we like to refer the cash receipt back to a sale so we know what that cash receipt is for. So those are our basic association lines, and now the business rules dictate to us what the multiplicities will then be. First, if we look at the sale, well, a sale, most companies are going to assign a sale to one employee. Now there are variations on this where sales could be shared by multiple employees. So again, this is a generic, and I think it's not trivial to make sure that we emphasize this is a generic model, which is going to vary depending on how your individual client or company does business. So what we want to do is make sure that the model should always follow the actual business process not some ideal process. So this isn't necessarily the best way for every business to do things. This is just a generic approach that is going to be a good starting point for whatever company you go in to investigate. And knowing the ways that these models are laid out in different types of organizations, you can make good recommendations that might help companies do things better. So we've got one employee assigned to a sale, but each employee may make no sales up to many sales. So there's your classic one-to-many relationship. Same type of relationship for customers. One customer per sale. Customers hopefully will eventually be sold many items and many sales. Each sale will involve at least one of our inventory items or services or whatever we have over in the resource area, and could include many. Each inventory item again could be associated with no sales or many sales, up to many sales. And likewise for the cash receipts, things will shake out fairly similarly. One and only one employee for the handles the cash receipt. Employees can participate in 0 up to many cash receipts over time. One customer will make 0 up to many cash payments that are receipts for us. And each cash receipt we will associate it with one customer. Each cash receipt will be deposited to one bank account. And again, that's a rule that may vary based on company. A company may decide to split up a deposit into multiple bank accounts, but typically each deposit will be lumped up, or each cash receipt will be lumped up with other cash receipts and accumulated into one bank deposit. But that bank account could eventually have many cash receipts in it. All right, so the last relationship on this generic diagram is the one between sales and cash receipts. And again, that one is going to depend very much on the business rules in place at the company. So these are really kind of wild cards. And it's hard to really tell how that's going to be set up until you have had a chance to discover how that process works. Will the cash receipt be applicable to many sales? Can I take one cash receipt from a customer and apply it to many sales? They want to pay for a lot of different purchases with one check. And again, can I accept multiple cash receipts for one sale? So can I accept multiple payments over time, an installment payment plan type approach? So depending on the nature of the business, obviously a convenience store won't accept installment plans for the most part. They want you to pay right now, get out the door. So all of those are going to vary, and all of these other ones may vary as well. So keep in mind, this isn't necessarily the best process. It's a good one to use as a template, no matter what company you want to go into and take a look at, but you always want to focus on the actual process as it is when you document what a company does. So hopefully this will give you a good foundation for going in and visiting your companies and helping them figure out ways to handle sales and collections even better in the future.